Hello and welcome to our Saturday, April the 2nd, 2022 program. This is Shimelis Gebremichael with UMD News Package for today. We invite you all to stay with the program, and for your feedbacks, please use our email address newstips2020umd@gmail.com. UMD extensively works in understanding, measuring, and doing matters. Our news team attempts to update you with the latest in Ethiopia, the Horn, Africa, and the world in general. Any of your support, including the provision of news tips, comments, questions, and suggestions, are always welcomed. Before we jump into our news packet today, here are the headlines for the major news. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed calls for the success of an inclusive dialogue in Ethiopia. 26 killed on Amhara-Oromia border. Conflicting statements are coming out from Oromia and Amhara regional states. Ethiopia and Tigray forces have been blaming each other for a week over the no aid reaching Tigray. 20 trucks have finally reached Tigray in 3 months of the needed 100 convoys every day. We look this story in more detail later in this edition. Now we'll move into providing more information on these and other news items. As we always say, please do not forget to like and share our programs and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also view our programs in other platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn. In our first segment of our news packet today, we will look news in brief. And first up is Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed called for the support of national dialogue in Ethiopia. Many are viewing the forthcoming national dialogue with suspicion given the ongoing situation in the country. A national dialogue, which may view as only state-orchestrated move, is slotted to be conducted in Ethiopia in the coming months. In connection with this, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has issued a statement calling all pertinent bodies to support the dialogue and diligently work for its success. In his detailed message, the Prime Minister reaffirmed his government's commitment in effectively facilitating the national dialogue in all its structures at all levels. According to Abiy, the contesting political parties should not only passively participate, but rather actively engage in all the processes. In addition, the Prime Minister reiterated on the importance of engaging the academia, elderlies, and religious fathers in playing constructive roles in all the processes of the dialogue. Prime Minister Abiy said all actors need to put their differences aside and compromise on some issues for the sake of the citizens and the nation. Following the release of the statement, many citizens are viewing the content and intent of the national dialogue with great suspicion. The ongoing war and conflicts in many parts of the country, instabilities and lawlessness in all the corners of the country, Eritrea's involvement in Ethiopia's internal affairs, as well as partisanship in selecting the parties involved in the process of the national dialogue are some of the concerns the critics pinpoint. 26 killed in Amhara-Oromia border. Conflicting statements have been coming out from Oromia and Amhara regions following the incident. At least 26 security forces have been killed in the Amhara-Oromia border. Local officials of the two regional states have issued conflicting statements about the clashes involving security forces and militias from both neighboring regions of Ethiopia. According to Oromia local government officials, a convoy of Oromia government-backed militia and federal police was ambushed in Fantale Warada of the Oromia region. The Oromia officials claim the attackers were members of the Amhara Regional Forces and Amhara Fano militia. Abdisa Ifa, a top commander of the Oromia militia, was killed in the attack. A total of 26 security officials were killed, including 2 officials of the federal police. Tantali Wareda is situated in the eastern Shoa zone of the Oromia region. It shares a border with the Amhara region. Last year, in the zone, more than a dozen Karayu Oromo elders were extrajudicially killed by the Oromia security forces. Amhara local government officials have shared a different account on the incident. According to them, the incident happened in Minjar Shankora Warada of the Amhara region. Minjar Shankora shares a border with the Oromia region. It is known that Oromia region's Fantale Warada and Amhara region's Minjar Shankora Warada are close to the strategic location Ethiopia-Djibouti road. Tensions have been rising on the Amhara-Oromia border for months now. Ethiopia begins a drive to return 100,000 migrants. Ethiopia has started a new drive to repatriate tens of thousands of migrant workers in Saudi Arabia. The first batch of 498 women and children returnees were received on Wednesday by senior government officials at Addis Ababa's main airport. It follows a report of undocumented migrants being subjected to inhuman treatment in the Middle East country, including detentions in squalid centers. The Ethiopian authorities hope to repatriate 100,000 nationals back home over the next 11 months. It is unclear if the returnees will be provided with sustainable livelihood at home. Operation Rescue Center in Tigray received school children to use its facilities. Operation Rescue Child Care Project Ethiopia office said one of its centers in Tigray has received children from the age of 1 to 6 to get all the facilities and lunch as usual. The children from ORE are coming to the center to get all the facilities and lunch as usual. It is a big joy to see the children eating, learning, and playing, Operation Rescue said in a statement released via Twitter. Founded in 2000, Operation Rescue works in Ethiopia, Brazil, and India for the well-being and the development of orphaned and extremely poor children using a non-institutionalized community-based care approach in which the children live with their extended family relatives or with members of the community. Children being supported by charity organizations attend their respective local schools for half a day and spend half of that at that center with when they receive hot meal, tutorial classes, sports, computer classes, swimming, music, dance, and help with homework. The Standards newspaper quoted the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, as saying that more than 2.8 million children missed out of their education last year in Afar, Amhara, and Tigray. Children are the most affected parts of the community due to the months-long blockade in Tigray as well. Expedite probe on missing businessman Ethiopia tells Kenya. The Ethiopian government has appealed to Kenyan authorities to expedite investigations into the whereabouts of Ethiopian businessman Samson Teklamichael, who was abducted late last year in Nairobi. Ethiopian ambassador to Kenya, Meles Alam, told the BBC they appealed to the Kenyan government to help trace the businessman, but they are yet to receive feedback on the process and on the progress. A video captured by bystanders showed a man believed to be Tekla Mikhail being roughed up and forcibly removed from his car by unknown men in civilian clothes before being bundled in a Subaru Forster. In the video that went viral, Gebremichael could be heard pleading with witnesses at the scene to record his capture. Ethiopian court orders journalists to be released on bail. An Ethiopian court has ordered Ethiopian journalist Amir Aman Kiyaro to be released on bail after being imprisoned for 4 months without charge. A judge in the capital, Addis Ababa, on Tuesday granted bail to Kiyaro while prosecutors determined whether to press charges against him. Kiyaro remained in custody while bail procedures were being followed before his expected release. Kiyaro, 30, a video journalist accredited to the Associated Press, was detained in November 28 in Addis Ababa under the country's war-related state of emergency powers. Kiyaro is accused of serving the purposes of what the government has classified as a terrorist group by interviewing its officials. Local journalist Thomas Ngida was arrested at the same time and faces similar charges. Federal Police Inspector Tasfai Olani told state media if the journalists are found guilty of violating Ethiopian anti-terrorism law or the state emergency law, they could face sentences of 7 to 15 years behind bars. And now And now we will move into one story we have chosen to present to you in more details in this edition. Ethiopia and Tigray forces blame each other for no aid reaching Tigray. 20 trucks arrived in Tigray after months despite the 100 convoys demands on daily basis. With the recent agreement reached between the federal and the Tigrayan government, many hope that the humanitarian situation in the region will somehow be addressed. The agreement reached would allow trucks carrying humanitarian assistance to the people in need. However, this past week, the two parties are still accusing each other of disrupting the humanitarian assistance. In our news in detail segment today, we will try to look this story in more detail. Please stay with us. The UN Emergency Response Agency OCHA recently said fuel and cash shortages have forced humanitarian operations to a virtual standstill in Ethiopia's war-hit Tigray region. This is in addition to the significant shortage of supplies of the food and other commodities. Tigray itself has for months been subjected to what the UN says is a de facto blockade. The United States has also for some time accused the Ethiopian government of blocking aid. It has been reported for quite a long time that the aid deliveries in Tigray had been largely reduced to suspended, including critical distribution of food, water, health, and nutrition services. According to OCHA, overall, 1,339 trucks have entered the Tigray region from Samara since July 12, which represents about 9% of the required supplies needed to meet the vast scale of humanitarian needs in Tigray. Malnutrition continues to soar in Tigray, OCHA said, with 6.4% of screened children diagnosed with severe acute malnutrition between February 1 to 7. This is a warning that the supplies used to treat such cases were completely depleted or almost entirely exhausted. Over the last couple of months, the UN's World Food Programme said that nearly 40% of people in Tigray were suffering an extreme lack of food, with fuel shortage forcing aid workers to deliver medicines and other crucial supplies by foot. Against all these backdrops, the two parties have been accusing each other of disrupting and blocking the deliveries to the people in need. These accusations and the justifications behind have been affecting the people in need of assistance. Ethiopian and Tigray authorities are accusing each other of blocking aid deliveries to Tigray that had been agreed to about a week ago. The aid trucks have been held up for over a week now. Days after announcing the humanitarian truce, the Ethiopian government accused the Tigray People's Liberation Front of blocking trucks carrying critical food aid to Tigray. More than 40 trucks were due to depart this week from Samara, capital of the Afar region, but a government statement says that the trucks have not left because Abala Road is closed to traffic by TPLF forces. Tigray administration, on the other hand, said the government is not committed to implementing the truce it announced mainly the delivery of humanitarian aid to Tigray. Writing on the Twitter page, Professor Kendeya Gebremichael, a member of the Tigray region government, accused Ethiopian authorities in Addis Ababa of deception and criticized the international community for welcoming the truce without ensuring the government would follow through. Getachew Reda, the head of external affairs for the Tigray region government, also said tens of thousands of people in Tigray are on the brink of starvation. VOA quoted Getachew as saying that the region's population needs urgent, unfettered access to food aid. Tracy Jacobson, the U.S. ambassador to Ethiopia, also visited the Afar region, met the administration and community members, and pledged continued support from the United States towards the region's recovery, including direct humanitarian aid for those displaced by the conflict. Meanwhile, the Tigray administration announced that the hyper and long overdue passage of 28 trucks into the region, in a way, highlight what is essentially at the heart of the problem. 20 WFP trucks have made it to their line of control and on the way to Ma'ala yesterday, according to the Tigray region spokesperson Getachew Reda. This is one good step in the right direction. In his Twitter page, Getachew indicated that the bottom line, though, isn't about how many trucks are allowed, but whether there is a system in place to ensure unfettered humanitarian access to the needy. However, citizens of the region and advocates who have been closely monitoring the situation are describing the action as a drop in the ocean given the need or demand of the population in Tigray. Aid has not reached into Tigray for over 3 months now. With the current need of humanitarian assistance in Tigray, 300 trucks need to reach the region every day. 20 trucks in over 3 months is indeed a drop in the ocean. Will this catastrophic problem be addressed? We will wait and see. Well, with that, we come to the end of the news for today. This has been Shimelis Gebremichael here at the UMD Media. Please do not forget to like and share our program and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow our programs through our other platforms as well to become the first to know what's going on in Ethiopia, the Horn, Africa, and the world in general. You can easily reach us via our email address newstips2020umd@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and have a good one.